Senator Merkley, you can try all you want
in this country.
to not take responsibility. I don't think you're fit to hand the bureau, but here's the thing, Mr. Patel. I think you're not going to be around long. I think this might be your last oversight hearing. Because as much as you supplicate yourself to the will of Donald Trump and not the Constitution of the United States of America, Donald Trump has shown us in his first term and in this term, he is not loyal to people like you. He will cut you loose. This may be the last time I have a hearing with you because I don't think you're long for your job. But I'm going to tell you this, I pray for you. I pray for you that you can step up and defend your oath, defend the Constitution, and do a much better job of defending this country.
That rant of false information does not bring this country together. If you want to work on bringing this country, it's my time, not yours.
My God.
If you want to talk about
dividing this country,
it is my time.
I follow you on your social media posts that tears this country apart.
To address your falsehoods.
Oh, you can try all you want
in this country.
to not take responsibility for what you have said. Sir, you're making a mockery of this committee. Sir, you don't tell me my time is over. The people of New Jersey tell me what my time is. You can't lecture me.
You can tell me my time's over.
You may be the charge of the FBI,
I'm not going anywhere.
but I am not afraid of you.
Mr. Chairman.
Not afraid of you.
Mr. Chairman, point of...
Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel today. Imagine guys, this clip right here is really weird, I'm telling you. Imagine, Senator Merkley straight up asked Kash Patel, have you even read the Constitution? This is very crazy guys. And when I tell you in the room, go quiet. I got real quiet, and guys, I just watched all these clips and I have a lot to say about it. Guys, let's get into it right now, and no big words to tell, no confusion, just very simple and real talk. Guys, let's go. I will be right back with more commentary.
And so as I understood it, you testified yesterday that you'd like to have another $1 billion added on to the FY25 level to do the additional work you'd like to do on drug interdiction, fentanyl in general, and anti-terrorism. And today you gave us a budget that requests cutting $500 million. Which is it? Do you want us to, what are you asking of this committee? To add funds, add $1 billion, or to cut $500 million?
Thank you, Senator. Appreciate the opportunity. What I'm asking for is that with more, I can simply do more. And I was giving examples of what more I could do. I can do the mission, and and I am in support of the budget here. And I'm working with appropriators and you to fill the gaps.
So you support the budget presented that cuts $500 million, but you also support us adding $1 billion should we choose to do that?
Well, I can't not support the budget as proposed, because then I would be supporting no budget.
Okay. Well, we've got those two options. We do look forward to further details from you about how you plan to modify the function of FBI on these different missions that you've highlighted today, so that we can give it the appropriate consideration. Director Patel, you're familiar with the Fifth Amendment.
Yes, Senator.
And it is really the freedom clause of the United States. It was 4 years into being a nation when Congress and the states said, hey, we have to make sure that there's not an over-aggressive government in the future that deprives us of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. And you're familiar that that applies to all persons in the United States.
Yes, Senator.
So there's been a lot of concern about the several hundred immigrants who were swept off the streets of America and sent to El Salvador without due process. And does that concern you?
Senator, or not, they were given or not given due process, or are supposed to be afforded due process. All the FBI did, and all the FBI will continue to do, is arrest those that have violated the law.
Okay, but to arrest, you have to investigate. Have you launched an investigation of this violation of the Freedom Clause of the U.S. Constitution?
Senator, I don't know that I agree with your characterization.
Well, that was my first question, whether or not you agree with the Fifth Amendment and are prepared to defend it. It is your job to investigate crimes.
Yes, I agree with the Fifth Amendment. I agree with the entire Constitution, and the men and women at the FBI decide.
So are you going to launch an investigation of the reported violation of the due process of several hundred individuals?
Again, Senator, it's not for me to call the balls and strikes on it. The men and women at the FBI who are trained to open investigations will make those calls.
So you have no influence over whether an investigation is opened?
I have influence over it, but you're asking me a constitutional question. I'm not a constitutional scholar.
Well, it's actually not it's a question also of law.
But your position is that every one of those individuals is by constitutional right afforded due process. I don't know the answer to that. I'm telling you.
You haven't read the Constitution? It says all persons.
I've got it right here, but what you're saying is that every single one of the illegals that was sent down to El Salvador is supposed to be given due process pursuant.
Yeah, that's what the Constitution says. It says
doesn't
no person.
say that.
It does say no person. Yeah, I'll encourage you to read it, because it's also been affirmed by the Supreme Court repeatedly. In the case of Miranda versus Arizona, held the right of all individuals, regardless of citizenship status. The Supreme Court in Reno versus Flores. I mean, but it's the plain language of the Constitution. It concerns me that you're not familiar with the core concept of due process applying to all persons as written in black and white in the Constitution.
As the first public defender who's ever served at the FBI as its director, I am more aware of due process than any predecessor in my seat. You are delineating between removal proceedings and criminal acts. My job is to investigate criminal acts. That's what we do.
You are aware that the Fifth Amendment refers to taking away liberty, and when people are arrested on the street, detained and sent out of the country, that their liberty has been taken away.
Senator, that is a constitutional question that you are asking me to answer. It's not for me to answer.
The question has already been answered by the Supreme Court that they're protected, therefore it's a violation of law, and it's your responsibility to open an investigation, and you're saying today you will not do so?
I am not the agency involved in removal proceedings. That is a different branch of government.
So if an agency other than the FBI violates the law and the Constitution, you will not investigate because it's a different agency?
I will investigate every violation of law.
Well, you have, but you just said you're not investigating.
No. You and I are in disagreement on what is a violation of law. I have yet to hear from the Supreme Court your position as you have adjudicated it.
Well, very, very interesting, because the Supreme Court's been very clear, and I had heard you were trained in the law, so I expected maybe you would try to uphold it. You also took an oath to the Constitution.
Thank you for the reminder.
Well, it's important to remind you, since you're apparently unfamiliar with the very basics of the core protection of freedom in our Constitution.
What I am familiar with is protecting the American public, and that's what
Let me close with one question, Mr. Chairman. Will you make sure that due process in every action of the FBI is completely honored under your time as director?
Will I ensure that due process is followed?
Yes.
Under the Constitution?
Completely. Send that message throughout the FBI that due process must be followed, is constitutionally required. Make sure.
Anyways, okay, so right from the start, you can tell this conversation is not normal. Exactly, this is clear. Merkley is not playing around, he is looking at Kash Patel like, bro, answer the questions. And Kash looks nervous. Imagine, this is very crazy, guys. And you can see it in his face. Yes. And you can feel that pressure. My first thought was, if you are working in the government, guys, how do you not have a clear answer? Very interesting question to hear and to answer, guys. This is the Constitution we are talking about. When Merkley said, have you ever even read this Constitution? Guys, that hit hard, because that is not just a question, that's a whole message. Oh my God, this is very understandable. This is very clear. And it means that, why are you speaking on things you don't understand? Very good question to answer. And there is another question. Says that, why are you making claims that don't match the law? Very good, interesting question also to answer. And the last question, why are you avoiding the trap? Oh my God, this is very crazy. And Kash tries to talk around the question instead of answering it directly. This is very clear, guys, and this is very understandable key point. And that's when you know, yeah, he wasn't ready for this. Imagine, guys. And here, it is my honest reaction, guys. This is embarrassing. If you are going to be in front of Congress or on live TV talking about the Constitution, you should at least know the basics. Guys, did you catch it very well? Very interesting key point. And Merkley kept it simple. He wasn't yelling and he wasn't attacking. He just asked a clear question, guys, like this. And Kash made it 10 times worse by dogging it. Imagine, guys, this is insane. This is crazy. And this moment is bigger than just two people talking. Yeah, exactly. And people in power need to know the rules of country, exactly. This is a very, very understandable key point everybody knows. And this is not a movie, guys. This is not a joke. The Constitution is basically the rule book for everything. Guys, did you catch it very well? This is a very understandable key point everybody knows. And when someone who had a top job gets asked if they read it, that shows something is wrong. And this is why these hearings matter, exactly. Yeah. And we need people to know what they are doing. Not people just talking or crowd or politics, exactly. Oh my God, guys, this is very crazy. This is very crazy, guys. The most powerful part for me was Merkley staying calm. Imagine. Because he didn't shout, he didn't start, and he just exposed the trap by asking a simple question. Guys, this is truly clear. This is truly understandable. And sometimes you don't need drama. You just need facts. Exactly. And there is something which says that facts equal facts. And after watching all the clips, here it is what I feel. Merkley stood strong. Kash Patel looked unprepared. And if you want to run things, you need to know what you are talking about. Very simple. Guys, did you catch the point? Oh my God, this is a very interesting point everybody must hear. And honestly, moments like this shows us who is serious and who is just talking. Alright, yeah, that's my reaction. Very simple and very real. Guys, let me know in the comments what you think. First, guys, here is interesting question to answer. Did Merkley go too far, or was he just telling the truth? Guys, answer that question. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.